Oh my God, I think this too. So listen, this is exactly what I said in my predictions video, and I have to bring it up. This just has to be said. I'm sorry. This is our budget deficit in purple, outlined over our budget deficit in green and teal from the last 2 years. It's exactly the same, if not a little bit up. Okay? There's no difference. Doge is not doing anything. It's not doing anything. People keep telling me, well, every little bit counts. It's not, there's nothing counting. Nothing is happening. We are printing and spending more than we have, just as much as we have done in the past 2 years. There is no deficit reduction. There is no getting us back towards fiscal sanity. There is no getting the return of sound money. It's not happening at all. That is why I just get these DMs of like, you're always talking about how you want to reduce the deficit, and then Elon and Trump talk about doing it, and now you don't support them. And it's like, I don't support them because I don't believe them. I don't believe them. they just pretend to agree with me, but they don't do it. They don't care. There's no. So anyway, it's actually not just the same. It's increased. So the red dotted line here is this year. The lower is worse. This is more of a deficit. So again, we're doing worse than 2021, which was the worst year for deficit spending outside of 2020 at the very end. But like, it's increased, dude. We're spending more than ever. And this is unsustainable. We are the insanely indebted nation. Our debt is all rolling over at higher interest rates. Pretty soon, like half of our government spending is gonna be just paying interest on the debt we already owe. It's unsustainable. It's not possible. And we're not making any sincere effort to cut it. Doge has done nothing. I just want to like reiterate this. And I want someone to sincerely, if they're gonna like, actually me, you have to sincerely answer this. If you're gonna be like, no, I think Doge is actually great, you need to explain why there's no progress. There's actually no progress in our deficit. Do you think this will bring deficit to public attention? Voters taking it seriously in the future? Voters will probably never sincerely care about the deficit. I just want to, like, maybe an Atriarch viewer might care, but a voter will never actually care. The number's too big. It doesn't make sense. You can't clearly encapsulate why it hurts you. It's hard. I mean, there's just so many countries, though, that have just gone down this road, and it always leads to ruin. It always leads to disaster. You're just borrowing from the future. You're just making future citizens' lives harder to try and juice it today. You have to have a balance. You have to have sound money, dude. People are asking, I asked this question so many times, so it's annoying, but like, if you just say, hey, we're not paying our debt, then you can't get new loans. And again, we need new loans all the time because we're running a deficit. So there'll be things we're currently paying for that we can't pay for because we can't borrow anymore if we default on our debt. That's the first thing. And then if you try to print money to do it, then you just inflate your currency. What you really have to do is cut your spending to a level, cut your spending or increase your taxes, or both, or both in a probably measured, sustainable way so you don't have a shock to the economy. But get to a balance. All of your growth doesn't rely on borrowing from the future. That's where 200,000 Bitcoin come in handy easy. Holy shit, strategic Bitcoin reserve, baby. It's back on. How many sources do you think you go through for a marketing Monday? One. Weed, baby. Make it all up. I do is I open PowerPoint, I smoke a fat blunt, the fattest blunt you can find, and I just start typing. Bro, I'm not even sure Tesla's a real company. I just put 200 slides up. I've never even heard of Tesla, dude. Is it up? Is it down? I don't know. I'm blazed. I'm stoned off my ass. And I just let it ride. I guess I was pretty accurate, but that's just luck. What if Trump kills all the Mexican cartels and pays off the debt with their money? You think the Mexican cartels are holding $32 trillion in drug money? 32 trill in Slippin' Jimmy's safe? If so, then we're good. Do you think any mission will cut military spending? It sounds like they want to increase it everywhere. I don't know. Trump mentioned taking it down, but Trump military spending cut. I mean, it would be great. It would be my favorite thing he's done. If we can, like this, what he said in February, this would be fucking awesome. That's not what this conversation seemed about. They were talking about spending more, but this, if we can get US, China, and Russia to all agree to collectively cut our military spending so that we're all spending less on military, less on guns, more on butter, this would be awesome. But I it just feels like talk. But I agree with this. This is great. Anything that Trump or even Elon, though I trust them less, surprisingly, say about cutting military budgets, I'm down for. Because it's like the only big area we can do it. If they cut from one area of the military to redirect it to putting it towards the Canada invasion force, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my problem. My problem is I just can't trust it, bro. I can't trust these words. I've seen so many words from so many politicians that pretend and then don't follow through on the realities because they're hard reality. I mean, cutting military spending will have an effect. It'll slow the economy in the short term. It'll piss off some very well-connected military industrial people. Lemonade stand's fire. Thank you. Gracias, senor. Lemonade stand, episode 2, out today. The Great Tesla Debate was fun to do. We had a good time. Learned some stuff. Doug explained the tech of self-driving cars and the difference between the LiDAR-powered Waymos and the camera-powered Teslas. It's interesting. And then Aiden makes an emotional appeal for trains and how we all just need trains in America and how who cares about self-driving cars? We need some public transport. It's a powerful app. I'm not spoiling it, but you'll see it all. I feel like I saw some of the slides before. Dude, I pulled the presentation up on the iPad. I showed my Marketing Money Prez a little bit of it during the podcast, and it was 210 slides, and I cut it down to like 40, and then I flipped through. But on the iPad, I have to delete each slide individually. So I was like, right before the podcast, going like, and they were like, okay, are you ready to go? Yeah. British Columbia just kicked Tesla off of an incentive program today. Guy who runs the program was like, I don't know if this is legal, but I'm pretty sure nobody's going to call me out on it. And everyone agrees and knows why. Yeah, I mean, I will say like most countries, not most, but a lot of countries around the world are pulling away the subsidies they were giving to Tesla specifically as like a way of not only fighting back against the tariffs, but fighting back against Elon's meddling in general. I think the company's cooked in the medium term. Maybe I'm crazy, but unless they legitimately launch a working robo-taxi that prints money soon, I just think I feel like the brand is so tarnished. Yeah, dude, this wasn't even in my presentation. This didn't even make it into my PowerPoint, but apparently, you know, I talked about the stickers people are putting on their Teslas. People are actually modding them to look like Mazdas. Does anyone have this? This is a Tesla. People are changing the logo on it so they don't get... so they can pretend they didn't buy a Tesla. That's crazy. That is like, that would go into a marketing textbook as brand destruction. If your own customers are ripping your logo off of your cars to put on a competitor, that's like so rarely heard of. Can you imagine like buying Coca-Cola and then ripping the logo off and buying a Pepsi sticker to place on there so that when you drink it, nobody thinks you're drinking Coke? It's crazy. No consumer would do that normally. It's wild. It's like how you pour coffee in liquid death cans. I don't do this. Just to be clear, I don't do this. I'm not running a long con to drink coffee secretly on stream. If I drank coffee, I would tell you, but I don't drink coffee. In fact, the only reason you call me a coffee cow is because some dumb Reddit post 3 years ago said it would be funny if you did. I'm neither a bovine nor do I drink coffee. I remembered you promised a stream where you would hotbox your room off a hot dog Benjamin, and I never promised that. Show me a clip of me promising that. I promise you I didn't do that. Reddit changed its tagline to the heart of the internet. Okay. Do you think that'll save it? I took a quick gander. Stock's down 40% this month. Maybe changing it to the heart of the internet will turn it all around. That heart needs a triple bypass. Oh, by the way, speaking of this whooshing sound, I sent a DM to Dan Giesling today, telling him that I'll try to get him the whooshing sound, but it turns out if he uses the same extension as me and he clicks on a message while I'm live, it'll pop up on my screen. Because Auto only built it for me. So it's only one URL or whatever. It's not like custom to each. So I don't want to give Dan Giesling the ability to pop up messages on my screen. I'm sure it's a simple fix, but I can't do it. I'm more of the trips to Florida, you know, ordered the hors d'oeuvres straight to the water.